Hello and welcome. It's polling day in Maharashtra. After months of high-pitched campaigning, the ruling Mahayuti comprising the BJP, Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena and Ajit Pawar's NCP is up against the Mahavikas Aghadi, an alliance of the Congress, Shiv Sena, UBT and the NCP, Sharad Pawar. Over 9 crore 64,000 eligible voters will be deciding the fate of over 4,000 candidates across 288 seats. While the Mahavikas Aghadi would want a rerun of the Lok Sabha trend, it's also a litmus test for Ajit Pawar and Eknath Shinde after the splits. Now, both Uddhav Thackeray and Eknath Shinde are fighting over the Shiv Sena legacy. Worli is one of the prestige battle seats. Uddhav Thackeray's son and former Environment Minister Aditya Thackeray is facing Milind Deora of the Shiv Sena. In Western Maharashtra, it's a race to the finish for Uncle Sharad Pawar and nephew Ajit Pawar to emerge as the true Pawar house. Now, Ajit Pawar, the sitting MLA from Baramati, is locked in a high-stakes battle against Yugendra, his nephew, who's fighting on an NCP-SP ticket. All in all, 6 big parties and 2 main alliances make the Maharashtra one of the most pivotal elections of the last few years.
और इसलिए महाराष्ट्र के विकास के लिए और यहाँ के गांव गरीब मजदूर किसान के कल्याण के लिए अच्छी सरकार और अच्छा नेतृत्व यही महाराष्ट्र के भविष्य को बदल सकता है। आज हमारा चुनाव यानी लोकतंत्र का उत्सव है और मुझे सभी जनता से अपील करनी है कि वो किसी भी हालत में वोटिंग करे और अपना जो अधिकार है, एक प्रकार से मूलभूत अधिकार है, उसका वहन करे।
गुजारिश करता हूँ, लोकशाही में वोटिंग होना चाहिए। ये हमारा अधिकार है, हमारी जिम्मेदारी है, वो हमने बखूबी निभानी चाहिए और इसलिए सभी वोट करें। और मुझे विश्वास है 2.5 साल में जो महायुति ने काम किया है, जो कल्याणकारी योजनाएं, जो विकास, उसके बलबूते पे आने वाली सरकार जो है मजबूत थम्पिंग मेजोरिटी की, ये महायुति की होगी।
मुझे यहाँ के बारे में अगर आप पूछे तो बारामती के लोगों के ऊपर और वोटर के ऊपर मुझे पूरा भरोसा है, विश्वास है। अच्छे वोटों से वो मुझे जिता के 8वीं बार असेंबली में भेज देंगे। मुख्यमंत्री पद के बारे में जो भी विधायक हमारे महायुति के चुन के आ जाएंगे, वो सब बैठेंगे, चर्चा करेंगे और उसके बाद तय करेंगे कि कौन महाराष्ट्र का चीफ मिनिस्टर बनेगा।
कांग्रेस की लीडरशिप में ही सरकार महाविकास आघाड़ी की बनेगी। उस तरह से जो मतदान का जो रुझान आ रहा है, कॉल आ रहा है, जो लोग मतदान के लिए जा रहे हैं, तो उसके आधार पर राज्य में कांग्रेस की सबसे ज़्यादा कैंडिडेट चुन के आएंगे। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय महासचिव विनोद तावड़े ये पैसे बांटते हुए पकड़े गए एक होटल में, जहां वो रुक नहीं सकते, जहां उनका 5 बजे के बाद उनको वहां रहने का कोई व्यवस्था नहीं रह सकते। जो चुनाव के जो नियम है उसका भी पालन उन्होंने नहीं किया और वो कहते कि चिट्ठी बांटने गए। अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी के महासचिव चिट्ठी बांट रहे हैं।
behalf of all of you, I would urge every voter in Mumbai and in Maharashtra to kindly go out and cast their vote. Vote for leaders, parties, alliances that have worked for you and will work for you. I'm confident voter turnout in Mumbai will increase. Even in the Lok Sabha, early trends were not encouraging. They will be better.
All right, for more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Santya Gora, who's extensively traveled across Maharashtra for the Maharashtra elections. Thank you so much, Santya, for joining us from the iconic Shivaji Park. Take us through the key battleground seats in Mumbai.
Ashna, before I do that, I want to talk about the significance of Shivaji Park. This is the place where Shiv Sena, the undivided Shiv Sena, was born. This was the place where 58 years ago, founder of undivided Shiv Sena, Bala Saheb Thackeray, addressed his first political rally. In fact, in 2006, when Raj Thackeray split from Shiv Sena and formed MNS, at that time also, he also addressed his first political rally from Shivaji Park. In 2019, when Uddhav Thackeray became the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, his swearing-in ceremony took place at Shivaji Park. In 2012, when Bala Saheb Thackeray passed away, his last rites took place at Shivaji Park. In 2022, after the split of Shiv Sena, both the factions of Shiv Sena tried to address the first Dussehra rally from Shivaji Park. That's how important Shivaji Park is. And I will start by talking about Mahim constituency, because first, the three key players and the three key parties who are there in the fray in Mahim constituency, all these three parties are fighting for the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray, which is closely associated with the Shivaji Park. So at Mahim, Raj Thackeray's son Amit Thackeray is making his political debut. He's facing two key people here, two key parties here. First is Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray's candidate Mahesh Sawant, and second is Eknath Shinde's candidate Sada Sarvankar. So Mahim is an extremely important seat because this is another seat where the NDA parties, NDA allies are facing each other. That is MNS and Eknath Shinde's Sena faction. Other than that, if I talk about Mumbai, Archana, Worli is an important seat where once again there's a Sena versus Sena battle. Aditya Thackeray from UBT is facing Milind Devra, who was earlier with Congress but now is a part of Shiv Sena, Shinde Sena. Other than that, another triangular, there are other seats where there are triangular battles. Important seats are Shivdi, Thane, Mumra Kalwa, Kopri Pachpakdi. All these seats are important for Mumbai and Mumbai metropolitan region. Civic issues are going to play an important role, whether it's about the condition of their roads, whether it's about the troubles they face during monsoon months, whether it's about the infrastructure projects like Coastal Road and MTHL on which Mahayuti is banking on. Talking about the rest of the Maharashtra, for Mahavikas Aghadi, the issues which they highlighted were farmer distress, unemployment, inflation. Congress stuck to its Lok Sabha narrative of constitution because that's what they said. And I'm quoting Congress here, they urged the voters to save the constitution from the BJP, though that was a Lok Sabha related narrative, but for Vidhan Sabha, also for state assembly elections, also they stuck to that. And Mahayuti, as I said, is banking on their welfare schemes and infrastructure projects. Archana.
Right. Thank you, Sandhya, for that update. Shifting focus now, Captains of India Inc. also turned up to cast their vote, from N. Chandrasekaran of Tata Sons to Ajay Piramal to former HDFC CEO K.K. Mistry. Corporate veterans queued outside polling booths in South Mumbai to make their vote count. RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das also cast his vote. He said he expected high voter turnout in South Mumbai, a place historically known for low voter turnout.
इस बार मिडिल ऑफ द वीक है, तो एक्सपेक्टेशन यही है कि इस बार वोटिंग परसेंटेज ज़्यादा होगा. द इलेक्शन इज बीइंग हेल्ड टुडे, द पोलिंग इज इन द मिडिल ऑफ द वीक, सो एक्सपेक्टेशन इज दैट द परसेंटेज शुड बी मोर, especially in South Mumbai. Thank you.
It is a precious privilege to have the opportunity to exercise voting, and I'm absolutely delighted that we have this privilege, and I would encourage everyone to turn out and exercise their option and vote today.
Any other issues that you feel should be addressed by the new government, sir? What are the priorities according to you?
I think first is to just ensure that growth is there. The second thing is to ensure that equitable growth is there. I also feel as a Mumbaikar that I think our infrastructure needs to be, there's a lot that's happened with the coastal road and Atal Setu, but a lot more needs to be done. I think the metro has to be accelerated.
All right, we continue getting ground reports from across the state. My colleague Shilpa Ranipeta is joining us from South Mumbai's Pedder Road, which is part of the Malabar Hill constituency. Shilpa, this is one of Mumbai's most affluent regions. You've been talking to the voters since morning. What are they saying? What are their key demands?
Well, you're absolutely right. I've been here at Pedder Road at the Activity School polling booth, and in fact, voters have been coming in right from 7 a.m. And like you mentioned, you know, Malabar Hill as a constituency, Pedder Road as an area is really home to some of the most affluent people in the city of Mumbai. And since morning, you know, some of the voters that we've been talking to, they have been really, you know, civic issues, obviously that is what is on top of every voter's mind. They want better infrastructure when it comes to the city. Roads is something that is on top of everyone's wish list. They want better roads, not just in terms of not having many potholes, but also easing traffic congestion when it comes to traveling across the city. Also in terms of better access to public transport, which will also then ease traffic on the road. They want the metro also to be accelerated. A lot has already been done in terms of infrastructure, but there is a lot more to go. That is sort of the sentiment that we've been getting from here, from among the voters. And the voter turnout so far has been decent. Interestingly, most of the voters that have been coming here have been senior citizens. We've been seeing people, even aged 90 and above, coming in here since early in the morning to cast their vote. And what they have to say in terms of what their expectations from this particular constituency or from the elections is that they want someone who will really come and pay attention to the infrastructure woes that the city is currently facing. Now, if you remember here, particularly Malabar Hill constituency has been Mangal Prabhat Lodha's stronghold for several terms now from the BJP, and this time he is up against Berilal Chaudhary from the UPT faction. So it will be interesting to see how that fight turns out. But like I said, infrastructure issues, civic issues and better access to amenities, that is on top of every Malabar Hill and Pedder Road voters' wish list on top.
All right, infrastructure to dominate the elections this time. Thank you so much, Shilpa, for that update. Let's now head to Western Maharashtra. It's a high-stakes battle in Baramati, the Pawar family stronghold. 7-time MLA and Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar is taking on nephew Yugendra Pawar in his home turf. Pallavi Ghosh joins us now. Pallavi, how's the mood in Baramati?
Baramati is considered to be and called the sugar bowl of Maharashtra, and it's also more known to be the turf of the Pawars, particularly Sharad Pawar. It's right over here that we're seeing one of the most intensive battles which are being played out within the split NCP, the Ajit Pawar versus the Sharad Pawar faction. Now let's talk about Ajit Pawar. Remember, he had put up his wife opposite Supriya Sule during the Lok Sabha elections, but his wife had lost. It was a win-win situation where Mr. Sharad Pawar, and it's a prestige battle for him, and all guns blazing, he had been all out. This time round is the prestige battle 2.0. Ajit Pawar has to prove that he is going to be making it this time round, but more importantly, his standing within the Mahayuti alliance is also going to be extremely significant depending on the performance of his party. Ajit Pawar has made a big issue about the latest allegations against Supriya Sule of using Bitcoin money to fund the elections. She, of course, was very angry. She spoke to us saying that these are baseless allegations, and Ajit Pawar can say anything he wants to, but it was all AI generated voiceover of hers. Of course, Ajit Pawar sticks to his guns, saying that it's her voice because he knows and recognizes her voice. Will this have an impact on the electoral turnout of Baramati? Over here, the voters we spoke to talk about better governance, local infrastructural development. Women talk a lot about safety, with most political parties, focusing on the women factor. But more importantly, this is a huge prestige battle and political future, not just for Ajit Pawar, but for Sharad Pawar as well.
Right, thank you, Pallavi, for that update. From Maharashtra, let's shift our focus to Jharkhand, where the second and final phase of elections are currently underway. 38 seats and over 500 candidates are in the fray, and this includes the high-profile constituency of Barhait, where Chief Minister Hemant Soren is eyeing a hat-trick. Sanjay Sinha is joining us from Sili in rural Ranchi, Jharkhand. Sinha ji, कल्पना सोरेन काफी ऑप्टिमिस्टिक दिखाई दी। उन्होंने कहा कि हमारी सरकार वापस आएगी। वहां का क्या माहौल है इस वक्त?
झारखंड विधानसभा चुनाव के दूसरे चरण में 38 सीटों पर मतदान हो रहा है। इस 38 सीटों पर दिग्गजों की कई दिग्गज ऐसे हैं जिनकी साख दांव पर है। बरहेट से बात करें तो मुख्यमंत्री हेमंत सोरेन है, उनकी पत्नी कल्पना सोरेन गांडेय विधानसभा चुनाव से हैं, तो बाबूलाल मरांडी जो कि बीजेपी से प्रदेश अध्यक्ष है, उनकी जो उनका चुनावी क्षेत्र है वो है आपको धनवार। मतलब कुल मिलाकर मान जाइए कि इस बार का जो दूसरे चरण का जो मतदान है वो थोड़ा सा अलग होने वाला है। पहले चरण के 43 सीटों से बिल्कुल अलग। संथाल में चुनाव है और आपको धनबाद कह लें, बोकारो कह लें, या फिर आपको कह लें आपको सीधे कि संथाल के 6 जिले ये तय कर देंगे कि वास्तव में झारखंड में सरकार किसकी बनने जा रही है। कुल मिलाकर कई दिग्गज हैं, लेकिन दिग्गजों की बात छोड़ दीजिए। अब आइए सीधे मतदाताओं की बात करें तो यहाँ बता दें कि अभी ग्रामीण इलाके बढ़ चढ़कर मतदान कर रहे हैं। खासकर बात करें हम इस समय सिल्ली विधानसभा क्षेत्र में हैं। सिल्ली विधानसभा क्षेत्र में जहां आपको एनडीए के जो फोल्डर में है आजसू से केंद्रीय अध्यक्ष सुदेश महतो यहाँ से चुनावी मैदान में है, लेकिन कहा जा रहा है कि त्रिकोणीय मुकाबला यहाँ भी है कि चूंकि आजसू के साथ साथ यहाँ झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा के अमित कुमार हैं और सीधे आपको जेएलकेएम से आपको देवेंद्र महतो हैं। कुल मिलाकर तीनों ही महतो हैं। कुर्मी बेल्ट का इलाका है, लेकिन किस महत्व को कितना महत्व मिल पाता है, जनता किसे महत्व देती है, ये देखने वाली बात होगी।
जी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इस अपडेट का। इट्स टाइम फॉर अ शॉर्ट ब्रेक। आवर इलेक्शन कवरेज कंटिन्यूज ऑन द अदर साइड। स्टे ट्यून्ड। Welcome back. You're watching our special election coverage. We are now joined by Aditi Fadnis, political editor at Business Standard. Ms. Fadnis, thank you for making time and speaking with CNBC TV 18. The voting is underway, and as far as Maharashtra is concerned, the turnout is not as promising. I mean, it's still 12:20. For the benefit of our viewers, could you tell us the main factors that could decide or shape the mandate as far as Maharashtra is concerned?
Well, I think all parties are really reaching out to women voters. We know from the National Family Health Survey and other surveys that women voters now, more than ever before, have an enormous power via mobile banking, via other areas to exercise their decision in an election which they used to kind of leave for the head of the family in the past. So you are finding that women voters are being wooed very, very strongly. It's considered a growing constituency. And even in past elections, whether in Karnataka or in Haryana or elsewhere, the votes of women have become very crucial in for both sides, the opposition and the ruling alliance, whatever it may be. In Maharashtra, the situation is no different. The government had launched the Ladki Bahin scheme, and a lot of money has been given to women. So if you have, say, 2 women in a family who are eligible for the scheme, of course, it's subject to certain income thresholds, then in the last, say, about 4 months, you have had more than 8 to 10,000 rupees in your family every month. So it is a very big game changer. And this, the opposition also told me when I spoke to them in Maharashtra that this is going to be a very important factor in the election. In Jharkhand also, the Maiya scheme, which is also an allowance for women, has been given altogether around 8,000 rupees recently, just before the elections. So that also is having, I mean, you can see that in the turnout, very large numbers of women are queuing up to vote in the Jharkhand election, both in the first phase and the phase going on now. So it's a very interesting trend, and giving money in the hands of a woman when seen in addition to other schemes like free transport, etc. The argument is that you can have how much free food can you eat, how many houses free can you get, how much does free water matter after a point. But if you give money in the hands of women, it spurs consumption, and that in turn re-kickstarts the rural economy. Plus, women, given the advantage of free transport, do have an additional chance of joining the labor force. So these are all issues which are very important in the elections that are going.
Right. You talked about women voters. Let's also talk about the campaign, the narrative set by the respective parties, whether Maharashtra, whether Uttarakhand. What we have seen is, in Maharashtra, what we saw was "Ek hai to safe hai," whereas the opposition tried to counter it. Whereas in Jharkhand, you saw infiltration ruling the narrative. What is your view? Do you think it's going to resonate with the voters?
In Jharkhand, I think the issue of infiltration is not that strong. A much bigger issue is the idea of tribal identity. See, in Jharkhand, 27% of the voter is tribal. The rest is non-tribal. And the idea that Kurmi voters must assert themselves, must be counted as tribals, and Kurmis are pretty powerful. They are important. They are also they're wealthy in relation to tribals. That is much more important than the issue of Ghuspaithia, as the BJP has called it. In Maharashtra, it is issues of livelihood and what your MLA has done for you. So that is much more important. Employment and access to employment, the issues of agriculture and remunerative prices, and more importantly, the issue of caste is also very important.
Absolutely. So Jharkhand, because what we have seen is Kalpana Soren has been very optimistic since morning. She's been saying that the party is going to register a historic outcome. We'll have to wait and watch what happens in the state and also in Maharashtra. Thank you so much, Ms. Aditi Phadnis, for joining us on the broadcast. With that, it's a wrap on our special election broadcast. But before we let you go, India's sports icon Sachin Tendulkar and top film personalities like Akshay Kumar, Ritesh Deshmukh, Rajkumar Rao cast their votes in Mumbai today. Take a look.